Hi, Raheem. It's Tom Rock from Newsday back on Long Island. How are you?
Okay, doing awesome, man. Back home, huh?
Good, good. I wanted to bring you back a little bit to Hofstra, and I was
Sure.
hoping you might be able to talk a little bit about the transition that you made from being a player who I would imagine had NFL aspirations to becoming a coach right away, and any conversations you may have had with Coach Gardy at the time that resonated with you while you were making that decision.
Man, Tom, you took me back. You know, um, right after you played at Hofstra, Hofstra was kind of the situation where you had a lot of guys go pro around that time. Domingo Graham, Lance Schultz, who coaches with us. Wayne Corbett was being probably one of the most famous ones. You guys would know Gio Carmazzi, some of those guys. And we all thought at that point we were the biggest team in Long Island. We thought we were huge. So, we all had some form of aspirations to play at the next level or to do the special things that the guys that before us had done at the next level. And obviously it was big time disappointment for me not having that opportunity to get invited to a camp and do some of those type of things. And then right away, the opportunity to coach fell upon me. And it was right with my guys here at Hofstra doing things with Coach Gardy and realistically knowing that that was probably my best avenue and really knowing that's what I wanted to do because of the guys that had coached me in the mentorship that I had got from, the Greg Gigantinos, the Joe Gardys, the Bobby Macks of the world. Really at the time, right before that, Dan Quinn was a part of that staff, Joe Woods. We had so many really good coaches and so many people that were invaluable in my lessons learned there at Hofstra that once I got involved and once I got into it, I found my passion. I was able to find that passion with one of my brothers and Adam Brown as he got on the coaching staff, and I was able to guide him through some things and do some different things there at Hofstra. But nothing but really great times there in Long Island as far as being a player, as far as moving into coaching ranks and doing some of the special things that I was able to do there. At the time, the Jets facility was right on campus, so being able to get across to the Jets and watch those guys, whether it was Bill Parcells or Belichick or whoever was the head coach, and then obviously having an opportunity to go work with the Jets when Herm Edwards got there, it was really special for me. It was a really special place, and it means a lot when you talk about Hofstra football. Unfortunately, we don't have Hofstra football right now, and that's really hurtful.
Thanks. Doug Shanahan says hello, by the way.
Doug Shanahan, one of the best players at Hofstra. I coached him as a safety, and he was a two-way athlete. Was able to be a dominant force in lacrosse and a dominant player in Hofstra football. And I got a lot of love for him and played with his brother. And nothing but love for the Shanahan family.
Next question comes from Greg Beecham. Greg, you may ask your question.
Hey, Raheem, I got two related questions about your defensive front. Given the three guys in the front and then the two edge rushers, is it safe to say this is the best defensive front you've had on a team that you've coached in the NFL? And number two, if Sebastian is able to come back as we've been hearing and possibly speculating, how do you implement that, mixing a guy back into a mix of something that's working so well?
As a coach, it's always a risky subject to say that it's the best of anything that you've coached because of the guys that come before those guys. And you don't want to be disrespectful in any manner to some of the greats. Warren Sapp was a guy that was in a position group that I was on a team that we coached along with Simeon Rice, Greg Spires, Anthony McFarland, just all the different pieces, Chartrick Darby that played with us in that crew, Ellis Wims. That was a phenomenal front, and it was one of those fronts that won a Super Bowl in 2002 that I was fortunate enough to be a part of. So you never really want to compare, but when you talk about dominance and you talk about a guy like Aaron Donald, who's going to go down as a legendary man in this game, you're talking about, Von Miller, who's going to go down as a legendary player in this game, and you're talking about Flo, who's working himself up into being a legendary who knows what he can become and what he can do. And then what Greg has been able to do throughout the year, along with Ashawn Robinson, and now getting Bash back, I think is awesome. If we get Bash back and get him ready to play and get him ready to go, he's one of those guys you can implement there with your nose tackle, spell some for Greg and Ashawn and what they've been able to do for us in our front box or whatever we want to play, whether it's 5 or 4. Doesn't really matter. He knows the system. He's been a part of it. And it's nice when you get those guys back in these big type of games to come back that has been contributors for you throughout the year. And we love having them, having the opportunity to play with all those guys.
Thanks, Raheem.
Next question comes from Nora Princiati. Nora, you may ask your question.
Hi, Raheem. Aaron Donald was talking about just sort of how important positivity and enjoying his work is to him. Have you seen that, and what has he been like to coach in the time that you've worked with him?
Nora, Aaron Donald is a pleasure to work with every single day since I've been here. I just remember my first day in the office, and he was in the building lifting weights, and it was the crack of dawn or whatever time it was, and it was really early. I was in early. He was in the weight room. I believe it was my first day. It was at least my first week or so, and I just went to him, and the only thing I can remember was thinking about his face at the end of that Green Bay game when they didn't win it last year in the division game, and wanting to do everything I could possibly in my power to help him advance and move on, and hopefully end up in this game that we're in right now and have an opportunity to win it. So coaching him has been an absolute pleasure to watch his work, to watch his detail, to watch his interaction with his guys. Just all of the things that he does. He brings a lot of fun. He brings passion. He brings leadership. He brings all the things, the key qualities that you think about a player when we talk about player-led teams and player-led people. And I can't say enough can't say enough great words about the man, the character, his process, his consistency, his communication. You know, all the things we talk about, pillars of our program and our football philosophy, he embodies. And it's no secret he's one of the best players in our game, if not the best.
Has there been anything similar with Von Miller? He also just spoke about kind of passion for his work and enthusiasm and really believing that can be impactful and infectious.
No, the only thing I can speak on with Vaughn is when we traded for him and got him, and we were fortunate enough to do that thanks to Les Need and Sean and their actions and Kevin and what they were able to do to get him here. But since he's been here, it's been unique. He's been one of those guys that was very passionate to translate his language over to our language so he can speak the same language with those guys. And now that he's got the language down, and now that he's got the movement down, and now that he's got all the things that we're going to ask him, require him to do, he's been able to go out and absolutely dominate a few of his games. We've been calling him like kind of playoff Vaughn-ish. And now he's starting to let some of his leadership out and how he speaks about it with the experience that he has in being in some of these games and absolutely going out winning the MVP in this game. So like having him with us has been so instrumental to where we are and what we've become. I can't speak highly enough about his performance and what he's been able to do for us in the past. And I just love and can't wait to see what he's going to do when it comes to playing this game.
Thank you.
It's really weird not seeing you guys. I can just tell you that right now. As I'm staring at myself, talking to myself. It's awesome.
Next question comes from Jordan Rodriguez. Jordan, you may ask your question.
Hey, Raheem, how you doing?
Jordan, what's up?
I mean, you got more going on right now than I think the rest of us do. Just wanted to ask about, it's pretty apparent that Eric Weddle's role has expanded, maybe even beyond what the initial vision was. And I'm wondering if that will continue to expand into this week in terms of not just what he's able to do for you guys, but also what his communication might look like.
You know, Jordan, you're very keen, and I know you got a real sense for everything that goes on, but, you know, he's one of those guys that's involved. He came in there, we had set a bar for him, his expectations that he was going to be a spell guy for us and be able to go do some different things for us in certain situations, whether it be dime. And then he evolved until where he can play a little bit more, so he takes some extended plays the next time he went out. And then the last game he went out and played every snap. And this game he's going to go out and hopefully play every snap, you know, God willing. And he's also going to have the ability to have the mic and communicate and be kind of the green dot out there because he's out there on every single play. So, you know, he's one of those guys that's been special since he's got here, since he walked in the building with his communication, with his leadership, and with his play. You know, make no mistakes about it. We didn't bring him here just to talk. We brought him here to be make a play, and be a playmaker, that which he's become and which he's done over the last couple of weeks. And he's one of the reasons that we're in the position that we're in. We were so fortunate to be able to come across him at the time that we were, losing our key safeties and Taylor Rapp, losing Fuller, and some of the guys that we lost. You know, we forget about some of the younger guys that we lost based on people, you know, sniping your roster. But the JJs and the Jujus, you know, we missed those guys as well. And we were fortunate enough to be able to get a guy like Eric to come in here who could pick it up really fast, who could do a lot of really good things for us. And moving on, he's been just fantastic for us.
If I could get a quick follow-up, Raheem, just what is it about him, though, that makes it okay, I guess, to transfer those responsibilities ahead of this game?
You know, he's a natural leader. You know, he's done it before in the past. He did it on Wade's defense when Wade was here. He has the ability to do that stuff across the board with everybody, and his communication is very clear. He's out there every snap. He makes it really seamless because he loves it. He has a passion for it. And it's something that he just thrives on, that he wants. And it's just a responsibility to kind of just bought it himself since he's been here, and it's been awesome.
Thank you.
No problem, Jordan.
Next question comes from Susie Colbert. Susie, you may ask your question.
Hi.
Hi, Susie.
This is not my question, but Weddle's going to be the green dot?
Weddle's going to be the green dot.
Wow.
He absolutely is, Susie. It's
Wow.
going full circle. You know, we got some packages when
That's incredible.
he's one of the guys that's in there. It's either him or Aaron Donald. Just kidding.
So, not game plan specific, just speaking in general terms, what's the keys in defending quick games and screens?
You got to play a little more matchy, a little more sticky man coverage, or whether you're sticky man coverage or whether you're tight match zones. And we have a little bit of both. And, you know, these guys do a great job of spreading it out and getting the ball to their playmakers and letting them make plays. You know, I know a lot's been made up their line, and I couldn't agree more with their offensive line coach and what he said. Stature for losers is basically what he said. And this game, and they're here for a reason, you know, this game will be about us covering and those guys trying to get their offense done. And we got to go out and do those things. You know, when you play these unfamiliar opponents like this, it's man on man. It's good on good. And we got to be able to go out there and do some of those things and try to separate the ball from those guys.
How impressed have you been at Burrow's level of mobility as he has worked his way back from injury?
You know, the mobility is important, but I think it's more of his poise. You know, he doesn't panic. He's not a shocker. He stands in the pocket, and he absolutely can hurt you with his legs, but he can absolutely keep his eyes down the field and absolutely make tremendous throws like he did at the end of the Green Bay game, or the end of the Green Bay half, excuse me. But he has been phenomenal throughout the season, and then watching him move and watching him run, he's got that, I guess you got to call it sneaky athleticism, because he doesn't use it unless he has to. And he's really impressed. It's really impressive to watch him do those things. He's one of those guys, man, that you know is going to be a guy in this league for a long time because of his poise, because of his demeanor, and because of his confidence that he's playing with.
Beautiful. Good luck.
Thanks, Susie.
Next question comes from Rick Stroud. Rick, you may ask your question.
Hey, Raheem, good to talk to you.
All my friends. Hey, Rick.
Hey, listen, you were a very young coach at 32, and you came in when Josh McDaniel did in Denver, and Josh has had a couple job offers, now coach again. How do you prevent from getting discouraged personally about the overall lack of minority coaches, but you in particular with all that you've accomplished?
Have you ever met me, Rick?
No, of course I have, but I'd prefer to hear it from you.
No, it's like I think we forget sometimes it's a privilege to coach in the National Football League. You know, and I was very privy to have an opportunity to go at 32 years old, thanks to the Glazers and what they were able to do and what they were able to see in me as far as their leadership. And was I ready? You know, obviously not. When you get fired after 3 years and you're only able to go 10-6 and have that one successful season and start off 4-2, and then have a small collapse in your team, and I didn't have enough consistency to be able to keep that thing and hold it together. And consistency in the communication, whether it was myself, Mark Dominic, the owners, the players, whatever the case may be, in order to keep that thing aligned and to keep that thing rolling. So now, growing and having the ability to bounce around and go to different spots and really be a part of, 2 Super Bowls since then, I believe you just grow and you get better every single day. And my job and my role, I absolutely embrace wherever I go. And I have to absolutely have so much fun being in my place, being where my feet are, being grounded. Something I learned from Rod Marinelli a long time ago. I was a quality control coach, and I had aspiration to be a defensive back coach, and I was sitting there behind Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches that I've ever been around when it comes to communication, when it comes to detail, when it comes to getting players ready, and doing all the things that are applicable from a coach standpoint, that I was able to learn so much from, that it has helped me become and made me more patient in life. It's made me more patient waiting for the opportunity to become a head coach in the National Football League, because I know it's going to come. And when it comes, I'm going to be absolutely ready, because I've been able to learn from a bunch of different people, whether you're talking about Dan Quinn, whether you're talking about Mike Shanahan, whether you're talking about my interim role at Atlanta and what I was able to learn from the Blank family, what I was able to learn from Rich McKay and Rustin Webster and all the people that was able to help me through that. And now coming here, seeing what Sean and Les Snead's relationship is like, and going through the whole problems of what do they do and how we do it, and going all in and being a part of it and not being afraid of failure. Those are all the things that get you ready for those moments. And when that moment comes again, I will be ready. And when it comes, I will embrace it. And when I'm able to embrace it, I will have success. And if I don't have success, I will do it all over again until I do have success and keep the consistency and communication that I need where I need to get it.
Good to see you, Raheem. Happy for you. Good luck.
Thanks, Rick. Are you still in Tampa?
Our next question comes from Bobby Thompson. Bobby, you may ask your question.
Hey Raheem, how you doing?
Bobby, I'm doing great, man.
Congratulations on going back to the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
So I have a two-part question for you. So as a play caller, what types of challenges does this Bengals offense possess, and what makes this defensive group so special?
You know, when you talk about the Bengals, first of all, you got to start with the head coach. You know, Zach Taylor, he's done a magnificent job since he's been the head coach there, and you know, I've watched him fight through some of the hard times and go through the adversity that I did as a young coach, and he's actually come out on top, you know, this year and absolutely taking his team to the playoffs and doing it the right way with his draft and building with the guys he's been able to bring in there, with some of the leadership he's been able to bring in and add to the team, like a Rico Allen. I know some of that stuff has helped him grow as a coach. I know some of that stuff has helped him being here and being around the right atmospheres, and he's done a magnificent job as a young coach. So when you start off talking about the Bengals, I think you got to start with Zach Taylor and his leadership and what he's been able to do with those guys and what he's been able to do with that offense. And that offense with Callahan and himself, they have been outstanding in my opinion. They are extremely hard to defend because they're explosive. They create big plays from anywhere on the football field. They can make plays all across the field, all down the field, everywhere, and they absolutely can run the football when they want to. They got a skilled and dynamic running back. They got O-linemen that absolutely go out there and play their hearts out, and they've been doing a great job of managing the game, or that flip between the 2 minute, you know, that final weight people talk about. To end of the drives in 2 minutes, coming out of the second half, really getting that thing going and stirred up, and they've been phenomenal in those things and keeping them in games, even the ones that they shouldn't be in. So you got to be cautious and you got to be ready to deal with those guys at all time. I mean, they're fun to watch every week but this week, and we got to go deal with them. And what makes us special, to answer the second part of your question, is I think it's us. I think it's the people. You know, we compete with our schemes, but we win with our people. You'll hear Sean McVay say that a bunch. I believe he got it from his dad, Tim McVay, and those guys are absolutely right. You know, when you do this business long enough and you go out there and you compete with people, it's nothing like it. You know, when you go out there and you want to win this game for Aaron Donald, you want to win this game for Von Miller, you want Von Miller to win this game for Aaron Donald and all those kind of guys, the Jalen Ramsey of the world, you know you're dealing with some special people. You know, that's just how it works.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Martin Frank. Martin, you may ask your question.
Hi, Raheem. I was wondering if I could ask you about Troy Reader, a guy, you know, obviously played middle, you know, inside linebacker for you guys. He kind of seems like unsung with all the guys like Leonard Floyd and Von Miller and everything. Just kind of what he's contributed to you guys this season.
Troy's the definition of consistency. You know, how he prepares and goes about his business. He's a hated blue hen, you know, coming from Hofstra, the big-time rival, being Delaware, and coming here and getting a chance to meet him and be around him. He's an absolute definition of consistency. He's the absolute definition of everything that this program talks about and is made of. His work ethic and what he brings to the table, and how he plays. You know, let's not get confused. You know, we're talking about a very productive player for us that's been able to go out there and play in almost every situation. And when things go wrong, something goes awry, he's able to step up and absolutely take his game to another level. And whether his role's been high or whether his role's been lower, he stays consistent, he stays even-keeled, and he goes out and gets his job done. And if you're very clear with him, he'll be very clear with you on what he needs to get done for that week. And one of my favorite players, man. He's just loved. He's loved around here, and he's loved by all our coaches and everybody involved.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Trevor Neal. Trevor, you may ask your question.
Hey, Coach. This is Trevor Neal from Back Sports Page. I want to start off by saying congratulations.
Thank you, Trevor.
So the Bengals gave up what I believe an NFL record 9 sacks to the Titans in their playoff game. Are you seeing that as a weakness, and are you watching a lot of tape from that game?
Trevor, I know you don't know me very well, but definitely watching the game. And as you watch them all, you know, you have a lot of time to watch multiple games. You got to just go through your process and trust the fact that your process is what it is, and it's got you to this point, and you got to be ready to deal with it. It's hard to say when a team has a weakness. It's easier to say what we're going to try to do and how are we going to try to go about our business and dictate terms. I think that's the way we look at it. You know, it's our identity got to come to life. It's all our things that has to come to life for us in order to go out there and execute our goals. So, stats are for losers, man. They gave up 9 sacks and won the football game, and I think they would trade that for this moment right now. So, it is what it is, man. Our guys got to go out there and perform, and you can't live on what happened last year. I remember very vividly playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the beginning of the season. And everybody talked to Aaron Donald about those guys being the champs, and he looked at him and just calmly said, that was last year. You know, that game they played against Tennessee was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever the case may be. And I'm sure they did their homework. I'm sure they cleaned it up. I'm sure they looked at their self-scout and they got better. And we got to go out there and make them deal with us. And that's the only way we know how to deal.
Thank you very much, Coach.
No problem.
Next question comes from Shane McGowan. Shane, you may ask your question.
Thanks, Coach. You know, yesterday I had Von Miller on here, and I was asking him and saying, you know what, these last few weeks, you guys have been playing with so much energy and intensity and the speed and everything like that, and said energy is contagious. And you can see that on the defense. You can see how much hype, and you can see it in the coaching staff, too, of what you guys are bringing to this team in so many ways. Would you say that that's been ongoing now, and you keep that momentum going as you go into the Sunday's game here in the Super Bowl, and you see these guys also feeding off of that and feeding off of each other, but how you coaches are bringing this energy to them too?
You know, I think the energy comes from a place of passion and a place of understanding. You know, communication breeds understanding, and if you're able to communicate with these guys and give them very clear roles and very clear objectives and things that you need to do to win the football game, what I like to refer to as the tackling plan, I think that these guys can go on and execute these things very high level and very passionate. On game day, I kind of like to step back, and I kind of like to let these guys have the window to go out there and embrace themselves and talk about what kind of passion they want to play with. And I usually remain pretty calm as I speak to these guys on game day. You know, my time is the first 6 days leading up to it. You know, I like to give them everything I can give them. I'm going to give them everything I got. And then I'm going to go out and be able to watch these guys play and perform and be able to adjust and be decisive and adaptive with these guys. So it is fun. I can't lie to you on that, man. And it is passionate. And I can feel it continue to grow throughout. I feel the passion because of the people that we have. I feel the passion because of the coaches that we have. And I feel the passion because of the people and how much they care about the game. And it's lovely to be around.
Great. Great luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Joshua Linsenberg. Joshua, you may ask your question.
Hey, Raheem, how you doing?
Joshua, I'm doing great.
Well, I am coming to you from your alma mater on the campus of Hofstra University. Wanted to ask you about some of your favorite memories from your time at Hofstra, and what would you say is the most important lesson you learned from your time with Hofstra that you still apply today?
I'll start with the second question first, but the most important lesson that Coach Joe Gardy gave to us was brutal honesty. He was hard on you, and it was good. And it was something that we all needed. You know, coming from Newark, New Jersey, and raised in Irvington and living in those environments, you needed people to be honest with you. And when you got that kind of honesty from a man, you knew he cared about you. And when you know a person cares about you, that does nothing but reflect your care upon them. And it made you want to play harder and develop more for what we were talking about in our cause. He was also a person that showed us just the right way of doing things and the right way of going about things and traveling and prepare like a pro. Everything we did was, professional. Everything we did was a pro style. Everything we did, how we traveled, how we ate, how we moved, how we played, how we met. Everything was that important to him, and it was really important to us. And rest in peace. His spirit lives on in all of us. And I love to get the opportunity to talk about him because he was so special to me, and he has a special place in my heart for sure. And at Hofstra, man, I can't say enough positive things about my time at Hofstra and helping me grow and develop, especially with the football team. But more than that, even just the lifelong friends that I was able to develop from there, the Wayne Yearwoods of the world, the Lance Shelters of the world, the Steve Wilsons of the world, the Vaughn Sanders of the world. And I don't want to forget anybody and leave those people out, Jerron McKelvin, the Joe Wrights, but it is just a lifelong friendship that you're able to form when you go to school and you have the same goals and accomplishments as everybody else, and you just set that thing forward and you just go. And then now you get a chance to sit back and watch people really succeed in life and be able to talk about those goals and those accomplishments you accomplish and be a part of it together. So as I sit here in front of this Super Bowl audience, man, I know that all those guys are sitting with me and right beside me, to be honest with you.
Thank you. And on behalf of the Hofstra community, good luck on Sunday.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Coach, we've hit the time of 5:45, which concludes today's session. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Have a good one, guys.